Hello, everyone. I'm Rebecca Keppel, and I'm super excited to be a guest here on the Alex Siberia Designs YouTube channel. I have a quick and easy snowflake card for you today that is part of the August challenge, which is a shaker card and a color combination or one or the other. I decided to combine both and make this snowflake shaker card. To create the background, I'll use the Sparkly Flakes cover die. Now, I have an A2 piece of dark blue cardstock, and when I already have an A2 piece of cardstock, I like to put it right inside the cut lines of the background die and place some washi tape on top so I can cut it out nice and evenly. Then I'll use the Snowflake Layering Die to cut out a large snowflake in the center of the sparkly flakes. Then I'll cut a piece of A2 transparency or acetate, and I'll place some tape runner all over the back of the die cut snowflake, just avoiding the open areas. And then I can lay that acetate right on top and line that up. And now I have a snowflake shaker window. Next up, I'll place some foam tape. Now you can double this up if you want to. I decided to just use a single layer this time. That will keep the card a little bit less thick. You won't be able to use as thick of shaker goodies inside, but it'll be a little bit easier to mail and it'll be a little less unwieldy. Sometimes those doubled up foam adhesives can get really thick. So I cut the foam adhesive in half to create a nice thin strip on the sides, but on the top and the bottom, you can use the full amount there. So now I have a rectangle of foam tape around the opening. I'll pour my sugar goodies inside and then remove those backings from the foam tape, being careful to not do what I just did, which is move the shaker goodies all around. Line up another piece of cardstock. I'm using a different teal, which is another one of those colors in the color combination. And you line up the bottom and then you can just press down and that will trap the shaker goodies inside the foam tape. And now you have your shaker element. For a couple of the other colors in the color combination, I've cut out the pretty bows die. They come in two different sizes. And for the sentiment, I'll use the Christmas sentiments stamps and dies. I have the season's greetings here and I'm using that same teal cardstock. I'll use some white pigment ink to stamp it after I treat this with anti-static powder tool because I do want to heat emboss. So I'll stamp it twice with white pigment ink and you can see I'm just gently tapping that pigment ink so I don't get too thick of an application there, but I do want enough of that white pigment ink to hold on to the white embossing powder that I'm going to pour on top. So once my sentiment is double stamped, I can remove it from the stamp positioner and I'm just placing it on a piece of typing paper and then pour my white embossing powder on top, pour off the excess and gently tap it to remove any excess around the edges and then heat set it. And I love the way this season's greetings in a script looks in white embossing powder on a darker color cardstock like this. It's so pretty. But what I really love is having the coordinating dies to cut that sentiment out so that you can pop it up. And I'm using two foam squares to pop up the season's greetings. I'll place it somewhere on the snowflake. I decided right in the bottom right-hand corner is perfect. Then a tiny little bit of liquid glue on the back of the knot of the pretty bows die. This is the larger bow. And then the same thing with the smaller bow. And you can see I've used two of the colors from the template for those bows. Once I hold those in place long enough so that they really stick down and I know they're not going anywhere, I can finish decorating this card. I thought the pink was just a small accent and I wanted to include a little bit more because I love the way light pink looks with a navy blue cardstock. So I'm using some pink pearls and placed one large pearl on the center of the bows and then a few other pearls around the snowflake in two other areas so that we have that visual triangle of pearls in three different spots. So that just adds a little bit of dimension and shine on the outside of the card, and then you have those shiny shaker goodies on the inside of the card. And you can see that even with just that one ply of foam tape, there are plenty of shaker goodies inside. They move around perfectly. So this is just a really easy way to create a shaker card with a die that you already may have. I hope you'll give this a try, and you can check out the supplies that I used down below. I want to thank you so much for stopping by today. Have a wonderful day.